on by some man here in Jordan, between the tribes and Bedouins, effeminate man or things like this. Have you heard of that?
Well, what I've heard was, well, they don't like gays. Well, I'm sorry, but there's a lot of gays in the Arab world. If you go back in time, homosexuality was not unusual to all the tribes. It's not unusual to many animals. It's a very natural thing. And in the days when the tribes, when they didn't have women, they would do it with animals, a man would do it with an animal, or they would do it with each other. And it was perfectly acceptable. So again, what is perfectly natural and perfectly acceptable, which is what Germaine Bria also points out in her book, what was perfectly natural and had no judgment on it, and what was perfectly acceptable through, again, it's like writing the hadith. Somebody comes along and says, I don't think that's so nice. I mean, they're barbarians. I think that's terrible. Or religion again, who comes down and says, oh, you must have a man and a woman because you have to procreate to keep the tribes. Therefore, anything else is no good. It takes away from it. And of course, you get somebody who's more extreme and comes along and says, not only is it not any good, it's not clean. And then they start using all these words and all these adjectives that get into the description, and suddenly the description becomes the thing.
So what about the...
And you get, again, a heightened image, which probably didn't have any effect the other way at all, until someone came along and said, well, this is terrible. I learned, I have a lot of gay friends. I have a lot of gay friends. And they are marvelous people. They are talented. They're really friends. I have a lot of male friends, and they are real friends. There is no contest, there's no threat, nothing. It's a real friendship, and it's beautiful. Okay? And it's funny because you really understand what society thinks about or how they feel. We would get dressed up. In Lisbon, we would get dressed up. Who is it? It's one of the kids.
Yeah.
All right, don't open the door. No. I'll get to them. Don't open the door because they're just playing.
Perhaps we can block it?
No, don't block it. Just I will tell them point blank not to come in. So you get dressed up. Let's go out. So we'd all get dressed up. I'd walk down the street with 4 of the handsomest guys you ever want to see, and I'm hysterical laughing, and we're making theater out of this, okay? And everybody is looking, and we're laughing hysterically because they're all gay. And these people, you could see how people, I'm showing this to show you how people are so tied to what they've been taught is an image, and they see a woman walking down with 4 good-looking men, and it would never enter their mind that maybe they're gay or she's gay or they're just friends. It would never enter their minds. It immediately goes to this negative reaction. And that's it,
And was it here in Jordan or elsewhere?
No, it was in Lisbon.
Yeah, that's it.
Portugal. Jordan has gay people. They're a bit quiet, but there was a girl here from England doing research on this, and she was in Lisbon, and she found 2 gay bars. They're in quiet areas. Most people don't know about them. Supposedly, I've been told it's not allowed, and it's against everything. So, but you can see you have effeminate men and you have masculine women. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the difference between female energy. It doesn't mean that he's a woman, and the masculine energy in a female doesn't mean she is a man. You know, I get a lot of flack of that because my hair is short. My hair is short for a specific reason. Because as a sculptor, I worked with very dangerous material, and I wasn't about to put myself on fire, which I did anyway. If my my smock was caught in the furnace working with glass. But it was allowed short hair. It started in the 70s. Again, you're back to the same thing, this image that a woman has to have long flowing hair. Well, now men have long hair, and men were ostracized for having that. But ancient primitive man had long hair. So what's, in other words, everything becomes so twisted because of this creation of these images. And the only way you can function in this world is you have to know the images. So you have to live up to the image. You can't do this because what will people say? You can't look like this because what will people think?
And isn't it more difficult to get out of these images here in a very tribal society like Jordan?
I'm fine. They all accept me. The problem I have sometimes is with people who I see in Oman. And, all right, those that know me, because they saw me on television, so they know the hair is short. But other times I get kids who'll come by and start laughing, because short hair is not done here. I mean, they've seen television. They've seen women with short hair. They see magazines. But they are tied, maybe even more so than other cultures, they are tied to this attitude that long hair. How come why you don't have long hair? I don't like it. Even that's not acceptable. You understand what I mean? So they're also tied to the image.
And is it because of, do you think, is it because of tribal society or because of Islam itself?
I think both. I think both. I think that a lot of the problems come with the tribalism, and they're exasperated by the religion, and vice versa. And vice versa. I mean, all religions have done it. All religions have done it. Even Christianity was not pro-women. I mean, women are not allowed to be priests, and women are not allowed to be rabbis. Well, you can't call them rabbi, because rabbi is the male, so call her something else. Well, why can't they? And again, like he said, the Jews said to the primitive man, you cannot worship the moon. You made the moon female. You cannot worship a female. God must be man, and therefore it must be changed to God. And they changed it. And God became a man. Now, bring into this your anti-image people, your atheists, and anybody else you want. Where do you come off saying God is a man with 2 arms, 2 legs, a beard, and whatever? Did you see him? But that was in there, women were no good. The moon, you're calling it a she. You made it feminine. Can't do that. So the Jewish religion changed it first, where before they were worshiping nature, and they could, if it was an aggressive thunderstorm, that was male. If it was something soft wind, that was female. Whichever way they wanted. Okay, whichever way they felt. And they worked on instinct and how they felt. But the Jewish religion came along and said, no, it has to be man. And that's how it got from goddess to god.
Yeah, some